Dad's affair partner is angry I refused to make her daughter my flower girl. I, 28 female, and my fiancé, 27 male, are planning on getting married in October. We have the dream place that we've always wanted and have most of the planning completed. My father had an affair with his now wife. She has 2 kids from a previous relationship, 6 female, 8 male. My mother did remarry to my stepfather, who I have a very close relationship with. My father offered to pay a significant amount of money for the wedding and wanted to walk me down the aisle. I told him that I only wanted my stepfather to walk me down. He was heartbroken but understood why I made my choice. The bigger issue came up when my fiancé and I decided to ask his brother if his daughter, 5 female, could be the flower girl, and she was very excited. I have no contact with my father's wife, so it took me by surprise when she sent me a long text message wanting to know if her daughter could be the flower girl, as my father put a ton of money into the wedding. I told her that we had already asked my fiancé's niece to be the flower girl. His wife started sending me hateful text messages on how I am being ungrateful and this is the least I could do for my father. I told her that I would happily return the money that he gave me for the wedding. She sent me a few more messages calling me an and I had enough and blocked her. My father did reach out to me and thinks that I should compromise to keep the peace and let the daughter walk with fiancé's niece. I told them that I was over all this stress and if this continued, then they would be uninvited to the wedding. I have been receiving calls and texts from my father's side of the family calling me an am I the a-hole for wanting my fiancé's niece to be the flower girl than my father's affair partner's daughter. No. OP. Of course, you're not the a-hole. It is your and your fiancé's wedding, and you have the right to choose anybody you want to be flower girl, guests, bridesmaids, groomsmen, anything. It is your wedding, and your dad putting in a ton of money for the wedding doesn't buy him the right to make decisions for you. But if I was in your shoes, I would just give your dad back all the money so he has no argumentative leverage and actually tell him that if he keeps it up, he's either going to be invited alone to the wedding or not invited at all. Now, to every single one of those family members that is also calling you in a hole or sending you messages or whatnot, I would tell them the exact same thing I told your dad: shut up or you're not invited. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. Brewer turned fat says, not the a-hole. It sounds like your father wanted to find a way back into your life, but selecting your wedding as the time to do that was ignorant to say the least. To add to that, he's adding to your overall strains through his venomous wife and family. If I'm being honest, you should probably return any money he gave you because I feel like his wife will continue to hold it over your head and use it as an excuse to be a bitch. Fundrip4502 says, not the a-hole. If you have the funds to do it, I return the money and uninvite them all if I were you. Otherwise, they're going to continue to harass and hold it over your head. I wouldn't think it would be worth the stress. Your dad made his bed and now he has to lie in it. It's honestly ridiculous for him to think he's entitled to any part of your wedding after he harmed your family, even if he did contribute funds. Money isn't a gift if there's strings attached. Maris says, not the a-hole. A compromise is not rolling over and letting them bulldoze you. Your stepmom is out of line. The bride and groom request their attendees to participate, not the other way around. You certainly don't get to insult and belittle people when you find out the bridal party wasn't filled out the way you wanted. That they are attempting to manipulate you with money says everything we need to know about them. Refund their money and their invites. And Babbitt 5410 says, what is people making demands on wedding that are not theirs? Stand your ground. Block everyone that is causing heartache and problems. Hire security for the reception because stepmom might start something if they come. Pay back the money when you can to your dad. Also, tell your dad that his wife is causing issues and you are over the nonsense. It is your wedding, not theirs. And OP responds, my fiancé and I never actually used the money for the wedding. My stepfather and mother are helping with the money. We plan on sending the money back. Well, the community agrees that OP was not the a-hole and apparently, OP was getting ready to send the money back. Now there is no outright update to this post, but we do have somewhat of an update from another subreddit. So let's move on with that. This post is from the subreddit 2 of my chest and it's by the same OP. I uninvited my father from my wedding. There has been ongoing drama between my father, his affair partner, myself and my fiancé. They are angry that my fiancé and I want my fiancé's niece to be the flower girl than my father's affair partner's daughter. My fiancé's niece is very excited. My father cheated on my mother and wasn't much in my life. My mother did remarry to my stepfather, who I am very close with. He will be walking me down the aisle. My fiancé and I had a long discussion in regards to the wedding and decided to uninvite my father. I called him over the phone to let him know and he exploded at me. I ended the call and we haven't spoken since. His affair partner went to social media to complain about the situation and tried to make my fiancé and I look bad. Some family is on their side while others are keeping the peace and staying out. My father did give me money to use for the wedding, which I returned right away. My stepfather, fiance's family, and some extended relatives helped with paying for the wedding. I am heartbroken that I don't have a relationship with my father, but the stress was causing me more problems than I needed. My fiance and I are definitely trying to move on and look forward to our wedding in 2 months. P.S. For those of you wondering, my father's affair partner's child is not my sibling. She had children with someone else. Well, OP, I think you did the right thing. Give back the money and just rescind the invitations. You saved yourself a lot of drama. Now unfortunately, OP's story does not end here. There is more to come, so let's move on with that. This post is also from 2 of my chest and, of course, the same OP. I found out that my husband has been cheating on me since our wedding. I found out recently that my husband has been cheating on me since our wedding, which was in October 2024. He and my best friend bridesmaid were hooking up before the wedding and even after. I found out from a mutual friend that sent me many screenshots. I did expose him to all of our friends and family. His family completely cut him off and want nothing to do with him. My ex-best friend is kicked out of our friend group and being kicked out of the apartment where she lives with 2 of my friends. I did kick my ex out of the house as I'm currently the main one making payments. He's currently living with a friend but not sure for how long. It's a horrible way to start 2025, but I'm making the best of everything that I can. He's been apologizing constantly, promising me that he will change and showing up at the house uninvited. I have a Ring doorbell that shows him stopping over multiple times a day while I'm at work. The only happiness I have right now is that I will be picking up a Labrador Retriever puppy in the next week to bring home. I hope everyone else had a great New Year's. I hope 2025 gets better for me. I hope so too, OP. And honestly, if your husband keeps coming by, you would record that footage and maybe use it to file a restraining order. File for divorce as soon as possible and get him out of your life. Also, getting rid of your husband and adopting a Labrador Retriever puppy, I think that is the best option. Now this post does have an update. So let's move on with that to see how this story ends. I know many of you wanted an update and I have a small update for everyone. My stepfather helped with finding me a divorce lawyer and I'm hoping that everything will move quickly. My soon-to-be ex kept coming by my house almost every day begging me to give him a second chance. I called the cops each time and I'm getting a restraining order against him. It got even crazier when he tried to come to my workplace but security would not let him in. I picked up my beautiful girl, Hazel, and she's the sweetest girl ever. My ex found out about me adopting her and made these crazy social media posts about me. My ex-best friend got so much hate from all our mutual friends and even her family that she quit her job and is now living in another state. She deleted all her social media and nobody has heard from her. She did send me an apology email explaining everything that happened. The email was just a long apology about how she felt horrible for messing around with him. I'm not sure why she sent it because before she was blaming me for pushing him to get married when he apparently wasn't ready. According to her, my ex felt pressured into the wedding. Did not tell me any of this before the wedding. I wish I knew sooner before the wedding. The apology was very fake and I won't respond back to her because it's not worth the stress or time. Anyway, my ex is fighting the divorce with his lawyer and trying hard to spin this around on me. The good news is that the house we were going to live in together was purchased by my parents and gifted to me, so he has no say of anything in the house. He has all his belongings that he had except his PS5, which I gave to him and won't give back. I wish I saw who my ex was before the wedding, but I'm doing better now. I appreciate everyone's kind words. Well, Lupe, sounds like you're on your way to freedom and apart from him trying to drag it out, which you won't get much from, it sounds like you're in a good place. So here's wishing you and Hazel the best in the future. Take care, OP, and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? And it's by user MeGFlair. Am I the a-hole for publicly humiliating my friend after ruining your relationship? Some context. I'm 18 female. My ex-friend Sasha, 18 female, and I have been friends since we were 12. Recently things have been tense because of her new boyfriend, Tim, 19 male. We are in high school. Tim is older because of the weird cutoff in American schools. Sasha has been dating Tim for about 3 months. I was happy for her at first, but Tim has always given me weird vibes. He'd text me randomly on Snap asking personal questions like what my plans were for the weekend, if I was seeing anyone, or wanting to play truth or dare with me. No idea what that meant. I told Sasha about it, but she brushed it off saying he was trying to get to know her friends. I decided to let it go because I didn't want to seem like I was overreacting or being pick-me. 3 days ago, things got weird. Tim sent me another message on Snap late at night saying, and I quote, "I need you so bad and all I think about is you," plus some other less favorable things. He then asked me to hang out at his place, just us to hook up. I was shocked and immediately took screenshots on my iPad. I didn't respond. I sideswiped. Yesterday, I went to Sarah and told her everything. She got angry at me. She accused me of making up the whole thing to sabotage their relationship because I'm jealous. She even said the screenshots I showed her were fake and that I must have photoshopped them. I tried to explain that I had no reason to do that and even offered to show her the messages directly on my phone, but she refused to look. She kept saying, Tim would never do something like that. And then I was trying to make her life miserable. She stormed off, but it didn't stop there. She sat at a different lunch table than me and was telling all our mutual friends that I was obsessed with Tim and was trying to steal him. Now people are calling me a horrible friend and my worst nightmare. A pick-me. I'm getting high-key horrible texts from people telling me I owe Sarah an apology for ruining her relationship and being a liar. I've chosen not to respond to them. Tim hasn't even denied sending the messages. He apparently told Sasha that I must have misunderstood and that he was just trying to test my loyalty as her best friend. I feel like I'm losing my mind because she believes him. So I went to my Snapchat, screenshotted everything Tim had sent me including his weird messages at the start of their relationship and uploaded it to my Snap story that only Sasha and our mutual friends could see. This was an hour ago and I haven't touched my phone since, but it's blowing up. I'm kinda nervous to look at it. I might have gone a bit far, but am I the for all of this? I don't see how a loyalty test could make sense or why Sasha didn't believe me. No, OP, you're not the and you actually did the right thing. Your best friend's at the time scummy boyfriend tried to pull some weird crap on you and you weren't having it. You exposed him to your friend like a good friend does and she got angry at you and then started bashing you with all of your friends? No, that's absolutely wrong. And you did the only thing you could, which is blow the lid of this thing and then let everybody see for themselves what's going on. So no, not the what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. Brain Genius 5686 says, Sasha doesn't sound like best friend material. Who starts spreading rumors about their best friend? Not the a whole, but I want an update on what your mutual friends are saying now. Says, you were in a no-win, they put you in a no-win situation. When someone disrespects and lies to you like this, the truth, the complete truth is the only thing that might help. There's a concept called keeping your side of the street clean. In conflicts, sometimes the only thing you can control are your own actions. You do what you think is right and just and kind. You don't lie and you keep going on that way. No matter what happens or what kind of fallout is going on, you know in your heart of hearts that you've done the right thing. Your side of the street is clean and you can be proud of that. That crochet addict says, not the a hole. You didn't publicly humiliate her. You set the story straight and only made it visible to people involved and relevant to the situation. Western Fuzzy says, not the a hole. Sasha and Tim are at the finding out end of effing around. Your friends who have been messaging you sound like mindless lemmings. Hopefully, you're going off to college soon and can make friends who aren't garbage. And Nux Vomica 14 says, she knows you haven't done anything wrong. She's looking for someone to blame because she refuses to accept that her boyfriend would do that to her. Pretty deranged considering she has proof. I think you did the right thing making the screenshots public, especially since no one believes you. Also, I would start looking for new mates. It doesn't seem like these people care about your feelings. I'm sorry. That really sucks, but you deserve friends who love you. Alright, well, the community agrees that OP is not the a hole and that she did the right thing. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. It's been a couple of days since the incident, but wanted to let you guys know what's been happening. After I posted the story with all of Tim's messages, my phone blew up like I've never had seen so many notifications in my life. Most of our mutual friends were messaging me in shock. A few apologized for believing Sasha and said they had no idea Tim was like this. A couple of people even told me they'd noticed Tim being weird or flirty with other girls before, but they didn't want to get on Sasha's bad side by saying anything. So apparently, this guy has a history. Also, on top of that, I always knew Sasha had a bit of a temper and sometimes overreacts. I never thought it'd be a big deal though or was a red flag. Anyways, the weirdest part is that Sasha still tried to defend him. She texted me this long angry message saying I'd violated her trust by telling everyone their private drama, and that Tim was joking in his messages to me. She even fully said, you should have come to me instead of trying to humiliate me, which like I did go to her. I told her flat out that I didn't post the story to humiliate anyone. I posted it because she and Tim were spreading lies about me. And I told her that there's literally no way to misunderstand a text like, I need you so bad. Apparently, a few of Sasha's other friends got involved and confronted Tim directly. One of them added me to a group chat and said, you're not the first girl he's done this to. Turns out, Tim has a pattern of sending these kinds of messages to other girls while dating someone. He's even tried to slide into the DMs of one of Sasha's old friends. When Sasha found out about that incident a while back, Tim convinced her it was a misunderstanding just like he's doing now. Also found out that Tim didn't miss the cutoff. So even though we are of age, he is still, like, supposed to be in college. I feel bad for Sasha because it's clear Tim has manipulated her, but I'm done trying to help someone who refuses to see the truth. She's still with him, by the way. Sasha's blocked me on everything, and in return, I blocked Tim on everything. Thanks for listening, guys. Well, it'll be, of course, it sucks when somebody chooses to believe the lying scumbucket like Tim instead of the person actually trying to help them. But if they don't want the help and they just dig their heels in, then just let them. There's no point in wasting your time, energy, and stressing yourself out trying to help someone who doesn't want it and who's actually lashing out. Maybe someday she'll realize that she's made a mistake and come back and apologize to you after she dumps Tim. If not, it's not your problem. OP.